kick back to say maybe 35 years ago. I was in grade 8. I was in a boarding school, and I have always been a voracious reader. I used to love books. Of course, sports was like I just used to swim, but books were my, sort of an escape. So in this boarding school, we had a wonderful library. I used to go to that library very often. She had a son who was doing architecture, and she used to check out books for her son. One of these books was The History of Architecture, Bannister Fletcher. Sir Bannister Fletcher wrote that. It was like more than 1,000 pages book.
Wow.
Out of curiosity, I kind of started flipping through it, and that was it. I kind of got hooked.
Welcome to Design and Dialogues. Today, we're joined by an architect who's been in the industry for about 25 years. The name of his company is Architectural Direction. And today we'll be talking about the landscape of residential architecture in India and a little bit about technology and how he's incorporating some interesting ones into his everyday life. Let's welcome Architect Ajay Gulati to the chat. Let's dive into it, one dialogue at a time.
Hi Atharv, thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. I really want to start with asking you the question, why residential architecture?
Oh, well, so Atharv, the thing is that we have been into this industry for the last 2.5 decades now. And our firm, though we handle a lot of large-ended projects, right, from hospitality to homes, industries to corporate interiors. But all of those large projects, they are like, standardized, so to say. There are fixed parameters. There are like standards that we have to follow. Residential architecture is an adventurous kind of, sort of a vertical. Because every residence is very different.
Very unique.
And very unique, yes. Because all families are different. Each family has its own lifestyle. They have their own, day-to-day activities. So every residence that we do comes with a different design brief, and it's very challenging. It makes us, keeps us on our toes and updated. And yes, it's a lot more creative rather than doing those standardized projects.
So let's take it 25 years ago. What made you choose architecture as a profession?
We'll have to go long back. In fact, more than 2.5 decades, more than 25 years ago, I would say. Let's kick back to say close to maybe 35 years ago. I was in grade 8. I was in a boarding school, and I have always been a voracious reader. I used to love books. Of course, sports was like I just used to swim, but books were my, sort of an escape. So in this boarding school, there we had a wonderful library, and I used to, go to that library very often. And slowly, the librarian sort of, kind of saw my interest in reading. She had a son who was doing architecture, and she used to check out books for her son. One of these books was called The History of Architecture, Bannister Fletcher. Sir Bannister Fletcher wrote that. It was like more than 1,000 pages book.
Wow.
Out of curiosity, I kind of started flipping through it. And that was it. I kind of got hooked. Because, I have always loved reading. I have loved stories, and History of Architecture was a book that came across to me like it was telling me a story about architecture. And I was just hooked. And then there was this other book called D.K. Ching. That was about the techniques of architecture. I loved that book. So storytelling, combine it with techniques. And that was it for me.
So with this as well, has functionality been the core aspect of it, or is it only aesthetics that people are, more focusing on, especially in the new homes that are coming up?
So now you see the aesthetics have always been and will always remain a huge part of residential designing. The difference is now people want comfort. Now people want a more functional space. So the aesthetics are primarily now restricted to the few sort of say, public areas of the residence, like, the living room, the dining room, the lobbies, maybe like those, multifunctional spaces where they can welcome guests. That needs to be blingy for some. Not all,
Yeah.
but mostly yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people now desire comfort from their
Yeah.
home. They want to be able to rest their head on their bed and immediately fall off to sleep.
Yeah.
So that is the kind of comfort that they look forward to. And functionality, of course, no
Yeah.
doubt. The more functional, the better.
Where do you think Pinterest sort of lies in this spectrum? Because if you speak about aesthetics, Pinterest does come into picture in some way.
Yes. Pinterest is, I believe, been a bane and a pain for us architects.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with Pinterest is that it shows so many beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
And those pictures, sort of generate so many emotions in our clients or any particular client for that matter. Now, everybody wants their home to be picture perfect. What they don't realize is that, it's not one shoe fits all. The pictures on Pinterest have been designed keeping a particular design brief in mind, taking a particular space into consideration. Now, each space is different.
So let's talk about a little bit about personalization, a little bit about the smart living, and also smart living ke saath comes sustainability as well.
True.
So firstly, coming to the personalization side of things, homeowners these days want to be very much involved in every step of the way, and again, it's also because they are the end users who are going to be dwelling inside that property, right? So how do you take into consideration so many stakeholders that will be living in a space, and also making sure that each of the demands is fulfilled?
So, Athar, now it is so much more better for us when the clients are involved during the design process. So how we start is basically we kind of sit them down, the entire family. And instead of just, starting with what is it that you want, we first try and understand the family.
Okay.
The composition of the family.
Yeah.
So each family is different. Each composition of the family, each relationship is different within the family.
100%.
So we first try and understand what the family is like. So we have a couple of meetings, preferably first at our office, and then maybe when we are onboarded at their homes as well. And while we are talking to them, they are not. We don't start with design based questions. Aapko color kaun sa pasand hai, ya what is it that you want in your room? No, we don't do that at all. We have simple questions. What's your lifestyle? What is it that you do? What grade your kids are in? What are your parents' interests? What are your interests? So we start off with those kind of questions.
Right.
So the more we understand the composition of the family, the lifestyle of the family, the way the family lives, the easier it is for us to design for them.
So basically putting yourselves in their shoes.
Exactly. So as I just told you, each family is so much very different. I remember we were doing this residence for a joint family.
Okay.
So there were 3 generations. Now just imagine dealing with 3 generations and talking about the same home.
Yeah.
Lagta hi nahi tha ki that each of them is talking about the same home. They had so varied kind of, requirements. Design brief, you sit them for, because once you've understood the family, you have to come down to the design brief. What is it that you want out of your home?
Yeah.
So when you sit down for the design brief, the grandparents are saying that we want this kind of a house.
Yeah.
The parents are saying a second kind, and the kids are like Gen Z, so they are on a different, tangent altogether.
Yeah.
But it was very challenging, I must say, and it was hugely satisfying when we finished with the project, because luckily all of them were satisfied and they were very happy, and they still are.
Yeah.
So that is how it is. You have to be a people's person more than a designer. Sometimes I feel that it's more about being a human resource kind of a person.
Yeah.
But then that's the fun of being an architect. 100%. You get to be you get to play all kinds of roles.
Yeah. So one thing which is really coming up is VR walkthroughs.
Yes.
And I've seen that a lot of architects are implementing that internationally. Has that been started getting incorporated within India as well?
Yes, of course, we are doing it. And we
Okay.
have been doing it for the last 6 to 8 months now.
Oh, interesting.
Or probably almost a year now.
Right.
So you see, this has actually opened up, wonderful gateways for us.
Yeah.
It is so much more easier to deal with the clients now.
Mhm.
So we kind of prepare a complete 3D walkthrough for them,
Okay.
and we give them those VR sets.
Yeah.
They are able to experience that their entire home,
Yeah.
even before we have started building it.
Yeah.
And the only thing I believe is missing the touch and the smells.
Yeah.
That's the only thing missing. Probably that'll come in soon.
Yeah.
The way that AI is taking over,
Yeah.
and it really helps our clients, take a call. So we have reduced the number of revisions we usually have.
100%. Yeah.
So that is one good thing for us.
Yeah.
And then I believe, it's a wonderful tool to have.
Are clients sort of expecting those sort of technology these days, or is it always a value add that architectural direction can give, which is different to what your competitors would be doing?
Yeah, of course. At the moment,
Yeah.
it is for us like a kind of a USP
Yeah.
that we are using
Yeah.
to convince to onboard newer clients, because when we try and explain to them the process of how all of this is going to happen, it kind of excites them, that curiosity factor. So yes, it is kind of a fish bait for us at the moment.
Yeah.
But I am very sure just another couple of years and it will become a necessity in our industry, because
Right.
everyone would want it.
There's this Australian company who rents like massive warehouses.
Yes.
And what they do is they sort of project the floor plan
True.
of the house,
Right.
and then you can walk through it. It's not with I don't know if it's with VR headsets or not.
No, that's without the VR.
VR
headsets,
it's just to sort of move around and feel
True.
how spacious the place is. Right?
Exactly. So the clients can actually have a feel of the space, or maybe the
Correct.
size of the room
Correct.
can be felt over there.
Yeah.
And they have these dry walls
Yeah.
on rollers,
Okay.
which their team moves around.
All right.
As when they kind of project the
Yeah.
plan on the floor of the
Yeah,
warehouse,
yeah.
they have these walls,
Mhm.
kind of artificial dry walls
Yeah.
on wheels.
Yeah.
So they place them as per the plan.
Yeah.
So when you enter a room, you actually get the feel of
Mm.
how large or small the room is going to be.
Yeah.
But that's a very expensive affair.
Yeah, it is.
Compare that to something like experiencing it through VR.
Yeah.
It costs, just a fraction of the
Yeah.
cost.
Are there any challenges with VR?
Yes. So the challenges are that at the moment, the materials that we put in,
Yeah.
they are all digitally composed or digitally sort of
Rendered, yeah.
rendered.
Yeah.
It's not always possible to
Mhm.
get the exact same material. So that is a bit of a challenge as of date.
Okay.
We are trying to solve that challenge wherein we scan the actual real physical materials.
Mhm.
We scan them using high-tech cameras that we have, and we try to put them in our 3D walkthroughs.
Okay.
That does work to an extent, but that is just about we can give them about a 40-50% of the result
Yeah.
as of today.
Yeah.
But very soon I'm sure that's going to change.
So with VR, I love how people can live in the space before they start living in it.
True.
Can you tell me the revisions that you were talking about and the expectations? What's the percentage of revisions that it's actually brought down, like a rough estimate, and how does it actually help in exceeding expectations?
All right. So the thing is that so there's something called virtual reality.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I told you that we prepare 3D walkthroughs.
Yeah.
Then we kind of transfer them onto VR headsets.
Yeah.
And the person can wear that VR headset and walk through or feel the space.
Yeah.
Now, that brought down our number of revisions by at least 25 to 30%.
Wonderful.
Now, the thing is that those revisions were because the clients previously were
Yeah.
not able to fathom the space that they have.
Yeah.
They were not able to fathom that after placing the entire furniture,
Yeah.
how
will
would
it look?
I, move around in that space? So that brought it down by about 20-25%. What we did, we just went a step ahead. We kind of combined something called BIM. So that's building information modeling
Yeah.
with your 3D renders, with your 3D walkthroughs. So once when the client is satisfied by what he has experienced in the walkthrough, we then transfer that model into a BIM model.
Okay.
Now BIM helps us generate technical 3D drawings,
Right.
which contains the services like HVAC, the plumbing, the electricals, the
Yeah.
flooring,
Yeah.
the doors, the windows, everything.
Okay.
Now what happens is, when you are drafting or when you are designing, suppose the AC guy comes and says कि मेरा duct यहाँ से नहीं जाएगा, यहाँ से जाएगा. So as designers, what we do is, okay, fine, we'll change it. But there are so many layers of drawings, like, there's the plumbing, there's electricals, then there is the false ceiling.
Yeah.
So what impact will that small revision of changing the AC duct have on the other
Maybe,
things, like
yeah.
maybe false ceilings? That needs to be changed. Using BIM,
Hmm.
if we make a revision or a change in, say, one component, say the AC duct, we automatically get to see what the challenges are in the other parameters like false ceilings and the electricals. कहीं पे बिजली की तार तो नहीं जा रही है, कहीं पे false ceiling का design तो नहीं अटक रहा है. Those kind of things can be easily. So that brings down the revisions by another 20%.
Lovely.
So technology, you just combine these two things and we get wonderful results.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
So talking about, the world of architecture is so evolving, fast evolving, I would say. There are new materials that are coming up now and again. Is there a material that you are sort of gravitating more towards, or you're recommending in majority of your residential projects these days?
So, okay, now, we can broadly divide this into two parts.
Okay.
One is, natural materials,
Okay.
and the second is the engineered materials.
ठीक है.
So engineered materials are actually making a huge leeway,
Okay.
thanks to sustainability
Yeah.
in our industry. But I have always been a fan of natural materials. Personally, if you ask me, I would love to have the humble Indian marble for
Okay.
flooring.
Okay.
I would love to have that distressed wood look,
Okay.
because that just, in terms of residential designing, that just speaks to me. It tells me you're home. This is where you live. This is where you're comfortable. This is secure. This is your space.
Yeah.
So that is why natural materials, I sort of gravitate towards those a lot more. But having said that, a lot of engineered materials are now kind of cloning these natural materials.
Okay.
Like we have engineered stones.
ठीक है.
About maybe 5 to 10 years back, the engineered stones had that plasticky feel.
Okay.
You look at an engineered stone and you say कि यार ये, it is not natural, it is artificial.
Yeah. The tells
But
are quite.
now the
Yeah.
technology is so good that it is sometimes it becomes a little difficult to kind of figure out ki whether it's natural from afar. Of
Yeah.
course, when you go closer and you
Yeah.
feel and you
Yeah.
tap on it or something, then of course you can understand or you can know whether it's artificial or natural. But some good things are happening as far as engineered materials go.
Okay.
But yes, natural is always in. Always in.
So you spoke about, 3 generations of families, especially personal spaces. How would you go about that? What's your mindset when you're doing that?
Okay, so interestingly, Atharv, there has been a shift in the Indian family mindset over the years. So when I began about 25 odd years ago, the joint families were the typical conservative, traditional joint families. But nowadays, even the joint families are a lot more progressive.
Yeah.
They are so much more open to newer ideas. I mean, the older generations are open to newer ideas. The younger generation understands that, yes, the older people need their space.
Yeah.
And believe you me, the older generation now is having a lot more fun than the younger generation. They are
Okay.
totally stressed out.
Okay.
So it was a challenge,
Yeah.
because not because of the generation gap per se, but because of their point of view, depending on where they are, in at which stage of life they are. Like the grandparents are like, chilled out, because the responsibilities are complete, and they are like, okay, we are happy now, it's our time to
Yeah.
have fun. The parents are like, okay, we have to be responsible, because we are the glue that holds together the upar wala generation and the niche wala
Yeah.
generation. So they are at a different stage in life. The younger generation are like, I don't care, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
and so designing for this
Yeah.
was not easy,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that tough either. So the spaces were, we had common spaces where kind of each generation's space kind of merged into that common family lobby, so to
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
So we had multiple lobbies,
Yeah.
and multiple lobbies on various floors,
Okay.
so that when they want to come together,
Yeah.
for a kind of a community meet or something, they can get together in a space. And when they want privacy, they have their own rooms to slowly fade into. So that's how we did it for them.
Nice. How is natural light? How do you play with that? I know in big houses it's possible, but with apartments it's somewhat restrictive. How much importance do you give to natural light, and how do you play around with that?
Okay, I have an interesting anecdote for that as well. So recently we were given this residence to design, and it was kind of landlocked on three sides.
Okay.
Right? So there are places in Delhi
Yeah.
which do not have service lanes.
Yeah.
So this plot of land was bang in the middle and totally blocked from all three sides, with just the front fascia opening up onto the road. So natural light, that was the first design brief.
Yeah.
After we had spoken to the family कि भाई हवा पानी अच्छा होना चाहिए, the older generation का feeling,
Yeah.
हवा पानी होना चाहिए
Yeah.
अच्छा. Said yes sir, and then we got down to our drawing boards.
Yeah.
So what we did was that we had these two separate triple height areas apart from the the front fascia, which obviously opened up onto the road. So these were like large areas,
Okay.
and they brought in a lot of light into the house.
Yeah.
And today, so we are just showcasing our that project of ours on our Insta page.
Yeah.
So let me also promote my Insta page. So they do not require to turn on artificial light till at least 6-7 in the evening.
Nice.
In this weather.
Nice.
So they are very happy with the
Yeah.
light. So we use those large courtyard,
Yeah.
typical traditional courtyard designing.
Yeah.
That's how we fuse. As I was telling you about, fuse the Indian architecture with
Yeah.
the global architecture.
Yeah.
So bring in the courtyards.
Oh, fantastic.
That's what we did.
With natural lighting and ventilation, there's a concept which is the Indian concept of Vastu. How
Yes.
do you incorporate that with the modern architecture?
Okay, Vastu is a very interesting science,
Okay.
and I am purposely using the word science,
Yeah.
very consciously using the word science. Now, it is a very interesting science because it just speaks of balance of light, air, the 5 elements, so to say.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
So all Vastu does, if you understand it deeply, don't take it on a superficial level, but
Yeah.
if you just get into it and try and understand, because I have been fortunate enough to work with fantastic Vastu consultants.
Okay.
They have been great, and I've learned a lot from them. So it just speaks of the balance, having a balance of the 5 elements within the space where you are living. So that is what Vastu is all about.
Yeah.
And that actually, on certain level, helps us
Yeah.
design our residences.
Nice.
Because then you know that this is what the layout is tentatively going to be like. That you kind of start conceptualizing the spaces a lot easier. The challenge comes in when the Vastu starts interfering with the design process, as in the when it starts getting into the kind of materials, or when it starts dictating कि ये material use करना है, ये नहीं करना है, that's when it gets a little irritating for us sometimes.
I can imagine.
But then we manage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the 3 things that a homeowner should think about before they actually hire an architect?
Okay, so those 3, before I tell you about those 3 things which I think that a homeowner should think about before hiring an architect, I would say a homeowner needs to have clarity of thought. What is it that if you are, say, a homeowner who wants to, say, hire an architect, I would want you to first have clarity in your mind.
Okay.
What is it that you want out of your home? Jot down the points, even if they are like rough points, so that you know what is it that you desire.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Now, when you are out into the market, wanting to onboard an architect for your home, be very candid. Look at the architect's perspective.
Okay.
Look at his point of view. Look at where he's coming from. Look at his projects. Look at how he functions. Look at his design process. Right?
So the research basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So looking at an architect's design process is, I would say, of prime importance for any person who's wanting to hire an architect. Because every architect has his or her own particular design process, and you might not kind of resonate with my process.
Yeah.
So my process could be like just get it done.
Yeah.
That's not the right process
Yeah.
to follow. Wherein you should look for an architect who has the time to go through and understand what your requirements are.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that you should look for in an architect. Second thing, he should be patient. He or she should be patient.
Yeah.
Very, very patient.
Yeah.
So any architect who listens to what you want is a good architect.
Okay.
Right? And thirdly, should be good at his job.
Yeah.
That of course you can look at his past projects.
If I'm a young architect, what would you give me as a piece of advice, or say that this is a niche that you could look into moving forward?
The first thing I would tell them, get out of your design studio.
Okay.
Get out of the design studio, go to the sites.
Yeah.
Look at how those designs, those lines that you drafted are being executed on site.
Okay.
What are the challenges that the contractor, the vendor, the skilled labor or the skilled person on site facing?
Yeah.
When he's trying to execute what you have sort of designed.
Yeah.
So you have created a dream, and there is a person who's executing that dream.
Yeah.
So
there shouldn't be any gap between
exactly.
that.
The head may devise, and the heart may design.
Yeah.
But it's of no use if the hand is not prompt enough to execute that design, right?
Yeah.
So you go look at what's happening on the site. So that is one advice I would definitely give to the young architects.
Is there a mindset or a skill that is not taught in architecture schools, but is very important for a person who is starting out?
People skill.
Okay.
Managing people.
Yeah.
When I look back at my college days,
yeah,
I am so thankful to a couple of our professors who made sure that point one, that they sort of kicked us out of the studio.
Okay.
Go out,
yeah,
explore, come back and talk to us about your experience.
Yeah.
Don't talk to us about the designs that you saw, talk to us about your experience.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the colleges, the architecture colleges, I don't know whether they're doing it or they're not doing it.
Yeah.
I cannot comment upon that.
Yeah.
But if they are not doing it, I would want them to teach people skill.
Yeah.
To all the students. They
Fantastic.
should know how to manage contractors.
Yeah.
It's not easy, because you see the contractors, they have a different mindset, a different point of view. Your clients would have a different point of view. So you have to be a people's manager, you have to be that person who's managing this side and that side and getting things done. So
fantastic.
That is one thing,
Well, it's been a lovely chat, but before I let you go, I'm going to do a quick rapid fire.
Sure.
Is that okay? So, I've got about 4 or 5 questions over here. What is the most underrated material in residential design?
Concrete.
Okay.
Concrete has so many uses. It is so versatile. I
Right.
mean, you can do wonders with concrete.
Okay. Favorite architectural style?
Favorite architectural style. Okay, so there is this Moliner's house in Spain, I believe. Uh, again, minimalistic,
Yeah.
but done in a very different way. I mean, it's almost, I mean, the way the lines and the curves, I mean, it's like the architect is trying to tell a story.
If you are not an architect, what career would you have chosen?
Okay, I've always wanted to be an architect. Probably I would have been teaching someplace. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not too sure, but I haven't actually thought about it. But yes, if not an architect, I would have been teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out today. It's been a very general sort of discussion as to what the landscape of residential architecture looks like. I would love to pick your brain a little later as well
Sure.
in the coming months and just sort of delve into some of the topics that we've discussed. One of the things that's really stood out for me is the VR bit. So I'd love to come down to your studio and
Most welcome.
experience
Would love to
that
have you. Yeah.
because I feel AI in architecture is really breaking grounds. And if we can incorporate virtual reality into such a cool such a cool concept, it would really do wonders, not just for the architects, but also for the people who are going to be living in that space. So once again, thank you very much, Architect Ajay Gulati, for taking the time out and coming down for a chat.
Thank you for having me, Atharv. It has been a wonderful experience.
Cheers.
Right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.